Ba-dum-bum-bum. It's your boy Big Vern. It's the bottom of the hour. Y'all rocking with the best. I know, that's why y'all here. Before we get into it, we're gonna hit you with a rap break. Y'all know how we do. Bum. It's your boy Big Vern coming to you live from the Absolute Studios. We pushing another rap album this month. Raekwon, The Emperor's New Clothes, in stores now. Get it where you legally consume music, whether it be Apple Music, Google Play, or Spotify. My personal favorites on the track is Berry Hill, Pomegranate is Wild with Inspector Det. Ooh wee! Wu-Tang Killer Bees, my goodness. Then you got Wild Corsicans with Benny the Butcher coming. West Side Gun. You know I've been dying to do that. One Life, 600 School, the guy that plans it, the heavies, the Amaretta with Nas. Enough said. It's like verbal intercourse on the first Raekwon album. Oh, Built for Cuban Links, which is a classic. My goodness. Deborah Nightwine, that's out there with Marsha Ambrose. She's highly talented and she don't get enough love. But yeah, that song is crazy. And Mac and Lobster with Ghostface Killer. The Emperor's New Clothes. Raekwon, in stores now. Yo, shout out to Raekwon. Shout out to Long Island, Wu-Tang Clan doing their thing. It's a dope album. Yeah, the Amaretta with Nas is wild. I love that. However, I'm going to switch some lanes here. I'm going to leave the National Football League. We're going to go ahead and pivot to some hip-hop news. I did not know anything about this, and it caught me by surprise. I was like, what the hell? Now, the Atlanta rapper Cash Out, once known for his hits including Cashing Out and She's Twerking, he's going to spend the rest of his life in prison after he was sentenced for charges including rape, sexual and sex trafficking. Again, I did not know anything out there was like this. After the whole Puffy build up, and then we kept telling you, hey, look, they're not reporting on this across the board. He had people who took the stand, who lied, and then all of these people committed perjury. None of these people went to prison because they cut deals of immunity with the federal government, meaning that they knew that they were going to go to court and lie. And when it came out, there was no children. When it came out, there was no celebrities. They raided this man's property and they didn't recover any tapes. All they found was like 1,000 things of baby oil. And then I kept asking the question because everybody was kink shaming. And they were talking about this man's sexuality and they were trying to go ahead and embarrass him for that. However, when certain people, they profess their sexuality that may be a little bit perverse and different from the dominant culture, you tell those people that they're brave, but somehow he's not. Somehow he's to be ridiculed. Again, the wheels of trauma pimping were spinning. And I'm telling people all the time, this makes no sense. Because they only had one person in a RICO case. How? But against this Cash Out fellow, this is insane. This dude, he was sentenced to life in prison plus 70 years. Yeah, in my Chris Tucker voice. Damn. Homie got to serve life, die, then come back and do 70 more years. What? You mean to tell me you got to go to jail for the rest of your natural life, die, then come back and do 70 more years? Whew, what new ninja rule is this? My goodness. Now, they wasn't done with this dude, and he can't contact any victims or their families registering as a sex offender. I don't think that that's necessary. I think when you have him register as a sex offender, he's not getting out. He's not getting out ever. So him registering or not shouldn't even be one of those things on the table. However, He has to register as a sex offender, and he has to stay away from several addresses in the metro Atlanta, including Fulton County Industrial Boulevard corridor. Multiple victims and their family describe the pain they've been subjected to, feeling disgusted and unloved, as well as having PTSD, depression, anxiety, and often resulting conditions from being trafficked and coerced into prostitution. This is awful. This is awful. And I looked at this and I said to myself, why is nobody covering this? Why is nobody covering this that's going on right now? Because you all don't give a damn. And that's the truth of the matter. You all don't give a damn, because it looks like this guy, and I don't know Mr. Cash Out, like I said, or his family, and everybody deserves to be heard, and everybody, like I said, every story has two sides of it. But it looks like this dude was doing this to predominantly Black women, and nobody cared about it in the media. Nobody cared about what was going on with these Black women and their trauma and them being raped and them being trafficked at all. And I know it sounds bad, but it's truthful. It sounds bad, but it's truthful. One victim said for the rest of her life, she's in fear that he is going to delete her, all because she wouldn't do what he wanted her to do. She said this in open court. She said this on the stand. It wasn't on CNN. It wasn't on MSNBC. I didn't see it on anybody's Facebook. I didn't see it on, well, I'm not on social media, so fair point. However, this never got more attention than the Sean Combs case. You were complicit in showing Cassie in a hallway getting beat on by a drug addict, but then when you found out in court, they're both drug addicts. And drug addicts do horrible stuff in one another. You should never be shocked about what drug addicts do to one another. You should never be shocked that drug addicts will steal from their own family. Drug addicts will set their own family up to be robbed and even worse. I don't know what world you all live in or what space you occupy, but because Cassie doesn't identify as a Black woman and she has multicultural friends from a different ethnicity, then it got coverage, because it was the perception that this big scary Black man is beating on this non-Black woman. And I get it, race sells. However, when you go and you read between the lines, she kept all of the tapes. She was calling and setting up free calls. She was writing people checks on behalf of allegedly on behalf of Sean Combs. But she's the victim. Here you have clear victims, and nobody's talking about this. Yeah, this is beyond awful. This is beyond awful. Now, the rapper, he had this to say for himself. He said, and I quote, "I reject that I am guilty of trafficking, coercion, or grape." He said this to a jury, and that this was the wrong judgment, suggesting the victims were bullied into testifying against him and invoking Jesus as a falsely accused figure. What? What? That's it? Man, you got life on the table plus 70 years. And you talking about how wrong Jesus got done? Come on, bro. No, you who was representing this dude in jail? Who was representing this dude at the table? Bro, you got it popping in Atlanta. You probably the next guy to blow and go national. However, you gonna sit here, we in a case of racketeering, prostitution, coercing, it's sex trafficking, and then you're gonna sit here and talk about, man, you know, that's messed up what they did to Jesus. You're not Jesus. You're not Jesus at all. Oh my God. Look. I'm not doing this. Give me a good rap out. Give me something. This is Big Vern. What up, what up, what up? It's your boy Big Vern. Y'all know what it is. Y'all know what we do. We got another R&B album. Keke Palmer, Just Keke, in stores now. Get it where you legally consume music, whether it be Apple Music, Google Play, or Spotify. My personal favorites on the track is 125 Degrees. I'm not gonna lie, fellas, Keke get good and messy. Everything from unplanned pregnancies to beefs and phone jealousies and looking through people. Yo, Keke is wild, but the album is good. The album is good. My Confessions, it was kind of like a take on the Usher song. She went ahead and ran that one back, and from her version, I dig it. I didn't think it was nothing disrespectful where she was trying to cover it, but it was just her confessions. So yeah, that was pretty slick. Exposed was wild, and I want to know is heavy. So if you're not really ready to get into trying to find out some things you really don't want the answers to, don't sit up here and listen to that song. But all in all, I thought it was dope. Why don't y'all check her out? Keke Palmer, Just Keke, in stores now. Yo, shout out to Keke Palmer, Just Keke. Make sure y'all go get the album. Man, Keke Palmer's a fine ass woman. Lord have mercy. Anyway, back to Mr. Cash Out. Yeah, this case it already is awful on its face. You know, anytime you have sex trafficking, you've got grape, you've got sexual assault. This whole thing is ugly, it's filthy, and it's dirty. But there's a twist. Yeah, it just wasn't him. Homie got his moms and his kin folks also caught up in this. His mother and his cousin were found guilty of running a sex trafficking operation using their record label as a front. Like I said, that's bad. You got your mama caught up in this and your kin folk. And one thing, you want to go out here and throw your life away, but you drug your mama into this and you drug your cousin into this. This was probably one of the biggest bumbling and fumblings of the bag that I can recall from recent memory. Yes, Atlanta supports their own. There will be artists when you pull into the V103, you're going to hear that it's not playing anywhere else. And it only takes one time for it to, some people to vacation in Atlanta, leave, go, and then now you got you some fans in different areas and sound scans. This guy could have potentially had the chance to actually go national. Put his own record label, because they started their own label. Now, all of that is gone. Prostitution, grape, sex trafficking. Now, Judge Lethbridge, he was playing no games, and he said this is the very worst of human behavior toward other human beings. And he said the sentence would reflect the severity of the defendant's actions. So he was in no mood to be dealing with any of this. And he's probably got a daughter, he's probably got cousins, he's probably got aunts, he's probably got grandmas. And he was sitting there thinking to himself, how would I feel if this happened to my daughter? How would I feel if this happened to my aunts? How would I feel if this happened to my cousins? Because it puts people in the mind frame of that. It puts people square in the mind frame of everything that this dude had going on. So his moms, and remember, I kept saying it, and I'll say it, and I'll repeat it to ad nauseum. Anytime you have a RICO case, it can't be one person only in a RICO case. You have to have multiple people in a RICO case to show a criminal enterprise or money changing hands in the interstate commerce situation. And RICO cases were generally used to actually go after the mafia. But now, in this RICO case of prostitution, grape, sex trafficking, His mom's, she got 20 years for racketeering and 10 years for trafficking to run concurrent. Your mama's in jail. She's gonna be in jail leading up to her golden years. And then when she gets out of prison, you think about how much the world is gonna be changed, it's gonna be different. And you've been behind bars all this time. She also must register as a sex offender. And she has to have no contact with the victims and avoid locations tied to the crimes. Now his cousin, he got life in prison for grape and aggravated sodomy. Oh my God. With an additional 60 years for trafficking, assault, false imprisonment, and drug possession. He also has to register as a sex offender, avoid all victims, and stay away from key addresses connected to the case. This is beyond awful. This is beyond awful. And this guy right here did this to predominantly Black women in the Atlanta metro area, and nobody's talking about it. Nobody covers it. The fact that this guy's sentence, you wanted to wish on a man who had done none of this. He didn't use Bad Boy Entertainment as a sex front. This dude did. He didn't engage in sex trafficking. This guy did. This guy did. It's not sex trafficking to take a woman that you've dated, take her on the road as a musician or as an artist, and then you have sex with her in a different state. That's not sex trafficking at all. That's two consenting adults going on vacation and handling two consenting adults' business. The fact that you all are tied to the sleeves, you all want all of the dirt and the juicy gossip, and you all are horn dogs. That's all that shows. This dude is evil incarnate, allegedly. I don't know Cash Out. I don't hate Cash Out. I don't like Cash Out because I don't know him. Hate and like, those are distinct characteristics of someone who has close proximity to you. I don't. I'm just giving you what this guy was accused and convicted of. He is a convicted sex trafficker. He is a convicted rapist. He is a convicted... It's so hard to even look at this story in the same context as the Sean Diddy stuff, because that was sensationalized. This guy got no sensation whatsoever. And I only have to point to the fact that this was a case primarily dealing with Black people. This was a case dealing with primarily Black people. And the only time the media cares is when a Black person dies at the hands of a white person. The only time the media cares if they can show a cop harass a Black person on camera. What about the families? And it ain't just the media. I'm not just going to go ahead and indict the media. Where's Al Sharpton? Where's Al Sharpton? He's nowhere to be found. He does not care about Black people. Where's Benjamin Crump? Because every time something happens to the victims, Benjamin Crump is sitting right outside talking, hey, look, we got to go ahead and get victims. Come on, y'all. No outlet that you subscribe to is talking about this in as much depth and detail as I just did. I don't give a damn about society as a whole, about people's morality, because it's fake and you don't know what these people believe in the first place, and half of them are biased toward their own interest. But how do you square this up? How do you square this up that this dude was able to operate and destroy the lives of Black women and basically get away with it for a while until he was stopped in his tracks? He himself didn't have a defense, only that the witnesses were bullied into testifying against him. That was his grand defense. And something about Jesus, how wrong Jesus got done. Yes, sir. You are no Jesus. You are no Jesus in this situation. If you can defend any of this, get in the comments. Let me know what you think. This is Big Vern. Again, if you are listening to this pod, get in the comments. Let us know that we get it right. What did we leave out? This is Big Vern. We talk back. We'll be back. We'll be back. Top of the hour. This is your boy Big Vern at App Stupid.